It was not in the final. It was in one of the qualifying stages. So we're playing against Jack and his client. And um, we have some hand where Jack was unfavorable, somehow got himself to two diamonds, undoubled, but went down four for 400. And after the hand, he was like, ah, like, they can make 4-0 jump. It's probably an okay result. I was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, yes, we can, but like, you got a zero. And he's like, I bet it's above average. So we bet 10 yuan on it. I saw that billboard asked him to sign it. He was like, no. He's like, I think I got above average. Right, I went 402 diamonds. Sure, you did, buddy.
All right, so second quarter play has commenced, and right out of the start, we have kind of an exciting board. It is possible that North-South make a slam. It's, I guess, possible that North-South make quite a few tricks in spades, right? Like 13 of them?
I mean, interesting choice by South here.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's treating it as a hand to just ask questions and take control, given that he has a solid heart suit on the side.
Mm-hmm.
But like the three little clubs, you know, I don't know.
Well,
Like he's gotta love this continuation.
yeah,
Like
he's gonna be pretty happy about the three diamond bid. Oh man,
yeah.
you know what this
Not a three
is?
diamond bid from a player who's red white.
You
Say
know,
again?
okay, well, I can't imagine this is the reason, but when I was subbing for Joel and playing with John Hurd, uh, we played against Greco and Hampson, and there was a hand where, and so since I was subbing, we had to play Sacy, right? So Hurd opened a spade, I made a 3-spade limit raise, right? And Greco on my left passed, and eventually we get to 4 spades, and we knew we were off 2 quick tricks, but the opponents didn't. And so we score up 5-10, and Greco was like, oh, I could have saved 10 points. This was a match point event if he had overcalled 4 diamonds over 3 spades. And so I wonder if like that hand is in the back of his mind, haunting him for all of these years.
Well, what event was that?
It was in DC. So I had basically like retired at this time, but I was just hanging out and kibitzing, and Joel was like an hour late or something. So John Hurd was wandering around and saw me just sitting in a chair, and he was like, hey, I need you to fill in. So
Like 2017 or something, probably 16.
2016, the DC Nationals in the summer. And the best part is that Joel and Johnny were leading after that segment.
He must have just gotten the start time wrong.
No, well, there was something else, but I'm not going to get into it. Joel was just very late to the round.
A late Joel Waldrich.
Yeah. Okay, so anyway, we do see Greco come in with 3 diamonds. That was my long, exhausting way of saying that Greco overcalled 3 diamonds, a little bit light red on white here.
Yeah, well, remember, he could not have bid diamonds below this level on the previous round. So, like, obviously, I would rather open 3 diamonds than bid it here, but he didn't have a 2-diamond bid available.
Yeah. Yeah, good point. So precision-wise, that's why he passed in first seat. Well, maybe that's why he passed in first seat. I mean, would you really open 2 diamonds?
Really why he didn't open 2 diamonds.
Yeah. But anyway, so 3 spades by North. I mean, very reasonable 3-spade bid by North. We don't have confirmation about South's 2-no bid, but I think it's fairly popular to play this as limit plus.
It's got to be limit plus and reject.
Right. And so 3 spades then looking at 3 small diamonds. North is very unhappy with the way the auction's gone, despite, I mean, having 2 aces and a singleton somewhere. He didn't like the 3-diamond bid. Partner says, that's okay. I'm cubiting diamonds. I have control there. North has showed us maybe a heart control, or maybe this is last train.
Yeah, either way, I think, from North's point of view, like, having shown a bad hand, now he can be really comfortable, cooperating with anything partner does.
5 no feels a bit aggressive to me because couldn't North have like the king of clubs instead of the ace?
Uh, Probably not.
You don't
What
think?
what what what's his hand then where he's cooperating at this stage, right? Given that he's cubed without a first round heart control because we're looking at him.
Well, South's hand's unlimited, right? So doesn't four diamonds just ask about a club control a lot of the time?
I mean, I mean, maybe, but like, if you're south, what's partner's hand where he's cooperating at this point with no first round control in any suit? Like ace jack fifth, singleton three little, king queen fourth. Is that really possible? Or let's say ace queen fifth, stiff three little, king queen fourth. Is it really possible he has that hand in cubit here? I guess maybe yes, but maybe it's reasonable for Jack just to discount that possibility.
Hmm. Okay. Well, I think 5 no was Grand Slam force, right?
Oh, I think it was too. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's just
Like,
asking if partner has two of the top three trump honors.
and by the way, opposite the same hand with the Queen of Hearts, he does want to be in a grand or Queen of Spades rather.
Yeah, but not if North had the king, queen of clubs. I guess it. Yeah, I'm not really sure.
I think South is 100% convinced, and that's not. Obviously, he's 100% convinced it's not possible. He made the bid.
Right. Yeah. Wow. Other
But I
table
think,
stopped in 5 spades. So the other table does have Finn and Sam, who have switched seats now. Finn Kolesnik was sitting south and is now sitting north. Um, could be based on like the seating rates to some extent.
I don't know.
Oftentimes, it's very valuable, especially if you're sitting at a table with 2 sponsors and 2 pro players, that you as the pro want to sit after the other pro in terms of
Mm,
acting, because their bids and plays are going to be more demanding, and so you want to be the first person um, to take action your way.
yeah, I also think that like Sam may be one of these people who's a little superstitious about these things. So since they didn't win imps in the set, he got to change seats.
That is also
Yeah, I
possible.
mean, like, yeah, I actually feel like I may remember this about him that he has like some superstitions about changing based on results in the previous segment.
Right, right.
That's probably in his notes somewhere.
Yeah, so Ewan tells us about the auction at the other room, 2 diamond opener by Bathurst. Um, Kind of interesting, but I mean, maybe again, could be a possibility that Kevin has studied the Dinkin system and has decided it doesn't do well against preempts, which I don't know. I don't know if that's right or not, but
I think he just took his hand and said, "I have a two diamond opening and open two diamonds."
yeah, that's also a
I don't
fair
think
point.
anything to do that. So, what do we think of? So, whose fault is it not to take the final push to six spades?
Oh, in the other room, I
Like, do we think Finn is supposed to with a club control, or do we think Finn obviously thought that he implied the club control when he bid five hearts and South didn't read it? Whose side do you take here?
Yeah, let me quickly pause and take stock of the 6 spade contract. I mean, I assume Declare is going to take some sort of sensible line of play to try and make this. Yeah, okay. So they go Ace of Hearts, Heart Rough. He's now going to play Ace of Spades, Spade to the King, and as long as spades are 3-1, he can then just run the hearts, pitching his clubs, lose a spade. He's going to be rewarded when the spades come home with an over trick. So yeah, okay. Now let's pull up the other table's auction for just a second. 2 diamonds, 2 spade over call, 4 diamonds by east, 5 diamonds by south. I'm not convinced 5 hearts should show club control. I mean, it obviously shows a good hand, right? A hand that's willing to cooperate.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like I actually take Sam's side on this. Like, it sounds to me like Sam thought that he was asking for a club control you know, and then figured that Finn would take the final push if he had one.
Yeah, I kind of agree, although it's a little tough from Finn's perspective. Even if you know about Partner's Diamond Void, your two spade overcall is fairly minimal in terms of like what you have. Partner might expect you to have six spades often, and you only have five of them. Your spades are fairly weak. Uh,
Like, wouldn't a somewhat common hand for South be like King Fifth, six solid, void too small?
I mean, I'm not convinced South needs to have all that much stuff for this kind of bid. Like, what if South had something to the effect of Ace King sixth of hearts in the same hand? Now you don't want to be in six spades, right?
Yeah. Um, would he make this bid? Probably, because your hand is unlimited.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe it's just hard.
Yeah, preamps are hard. Preamps make things tough sometimes. But I do kind of agree that obviously, like, Sam is looking at his hand and being like, hey, partner, please tell me about your club control. And Finn is like, he might have understood that that's what partner was asking, but he was just like, opposite partner's range, I just don't think six spades is going to be the right spot too often. And he got kind of
Yeah,
unlucky here.
right. Like Dinkin presumably thought he was forcing opposite any club control, and Finn thought it was more like, do you have a club control and actually think you can make a slam?
Yeah. Okay. So,
Wow.
board 17, we have a bit of an exciting start. East opens a diamond. I mean, looks pretty normal. 12 count. South passes. Also looks pretty normal. West bids a no trump. And North comes in with a takeout double, a takeout of diamonds. Fairly light. He has a passed hand, so it's not as if his partner is going to get too high, but this is one of those actions that I think you could easily get punished for. This feels like a part score deal quite often, and you might be going for like 3 or 500.
Yeah, this is an action I would certainly like a lot more at match points.
Yeah, yeah. But they have found a 4/4 heart fit. South does have enough stuff that I think North South will be protected against a penalty. And East West happen to have a pretty large diamond fit, so things have worked out fairly well for North South here, getting into the
Yeah,
auction.
they're not gonna make two hearts, but down one is still a pretty good result.
Yeah, although Greco has a bit of a decision to make because, I mean, one diamond is precision style, so he doesn't know his partner has a diamond suit, but he has a 10 count, and the opponents appear to have, oftentimes are going to have eight hearts between them at this point in the auction. He might feel obligated to show some extra values here with some bid, like I don't know, double.
I don't know the system well enough to speculate. Like whatever he does, I'm sure is right.
Yeah, that's true. Although Kit has been pretty passive aggressive about condemning Eric's actions.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but it wouldn't surprise me if they're basically just playing the Kip Bramley system.
Right, right.
Like, it's like a spot where like it's a lot easier for Greco to learn Bramley's notes than the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
So three diamonds is just totally cold, right? You lose two spades, two clubs.
That looks correct. There's no spade rough, and with everything splitting well, Declare effectively has no issues.
Yeah, you only need one rough anyway. So your diamonds are solid enough to rough a heart high.
Right.
And I mean, they can make two hearts, but in real life, they're almost certainly going to lose that club finesse.
Yeah.
Particularly playing against precision players where East length is. I mean, I guess actually this declare will know with missing nine diamonds that East length isn't diamonds, but still, I think it's normal to stick with club finesse.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get enough information about the high cards to do something different and actually go plus in two hearts. I think the longer Eric thinks, the more likely it is that he's going to pass. No.
No, so he does double. I mean, that seemed like the kind of indicated action, although it's a little bit sad. East.
Yeah. I mean, his side is limited to basically to 22 highs, which seems a little aggressive at this point.
Yeah, but you can still like win 5 imps here and there for part score decisions on some of these boards if the opponents were
Yeah,
making
I
two
mean,
hearts.
if partners like, I guess yeah, if partners like 3-2, 3-5, you'll get to three clubs instead of three diamonds, but it's probably not horrible.
Right. So Bramley does get to bid 2-0. Looks like that's just pick a minor. And Greco will be happy to try 3 diamonds.
Sorry. So somehow they got themselves all the way up to 3-0 in the other room.
Yeah, I'm done looking at auctions from the other room, at least for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was Wolfson Bathurst, not Dinkin.
I know. I just
Wow. There was some Dinkinness involved.
see you see what I mean?
System win.
Zipitin says possibility for director call with a tank double. Um,
Yeah, although I think Bramley knows that the opponent's running an 8 card fix, and his partner doesn't have four hearts, so I don't think there's really any chance of this result being rolled back.
yeah, I'm not sure what the argument would be. I
Well, if Bramley had a third heart and pulled, then you know,
oh,
then I would expect
do you think Greco's double is pure penalty? I think
no,
hmm.
no. I mean, Greco's double is something like this, where it's like, partner have a maximum and can defend. Look at your hand and do whatever you do.
Sure, sure. Yeah, no, I mean like that. I do agree with that kind of assessment, but I also don't think there would be an issue if Bramley pulled with 3 hearts.
No, I, I think it would depend on the hand, but that's one where I think a committee would certainly at least consider rolling it back. But
Yeah, maybe. Um, yeah, I see these kinds of arguments a lot, and I have to say that I'm not impressed. I do understand the tendency of people to just be like, I'm calling the director because someone took a while, and like that means that their action wasn't clear. But I think you need to come up with a legitimate claim as to like what that implies, right? If Greco's double suggested, for example, that he had short hearts, then you could make an argument. But here he didn't have short hearts, right? If you say that his double suggests that he has a long minor, I mean, he does happen to have a long minor, but I don't think that's necessarily what double suggests. I think he might have done it with 3-3-4-3 as well in shape.
yeah, and I guess I just take the view that on these hands, like if you're at the table, you just can't be impartial because first you've seen the hand, but also you have emotional investment in it. So just anytime like there's just something like that, you just call the director and get an objective opinion from a third party. When I was like, I can't get that because the director hates me, but most people can.
Well, so Zabatin, I would make the argument then that anytime someone thinks that you should be calling the director if that's the case. But like imagine an auction that goes a heart, 2 hearts, and then someone thinks for a while and bids 3 clubs. Does that mean that you should be calling the director on them there because their hand isn't like a normal 3 club bid? I would say no. So I think you need to be more strict about the types of hands that you want to call the director in these spots. That's just my opinion.
By the way, Greco did have exactly the hand he was representing, so we don't know what he was thinking about. Possibly he was thinking like maybe he and Bramley hadn't discussed the situation and he wanted to like think back on all the talk they've had leading up to this, if there's any possibility it was a takeout double. Like, who knows? But given that he actually had the exact hand he showed, I don't think that argument is compelling.
Hmm.
Yeah, like isn't West Hand exactly what you would expect for this action? Maybe like sure you'd want to have King Jack third of hearts instead of King four deuce, but basically this hand, assuming that's what it meant is exactly par, but maybe he was thinking about, oh God, like what does this bid really mean?
Right. Yeah.
Or just thinking, my double shows exactly this, but maybe three diamonds is a better bid anyway.
True. True. Yeah. Like I think that for me is my position. Zabitin suggesting that like it's okay to just call the director anytime that someone thinks for a while, and honestly, I hate that opinion, but I don't think there's anything wrong with it in the rules. I don't know if Ewan would be on your side. I know that Ewan is kind of just like, I'm happy to follow the letter of the law, and there doesn't seem to be
And
anything
my
wrong with doing this.
and my view is it's appropriate to call the director when you're not really sure, and because you're invested in the hand, you can't personally be objective. Like, this, I don't know, like this is either in that category or isn't, but I think that's a fairly broad category where it's like, look, I just like I can't, divorce myself from like knowing what happened on the hand.
Yeah, which is totally fair. Okay, I'm coming around to the belief that like having heard these arguments from people, it's giving me more insight into the way people think. I
Like this idea of like we call the director anytime there's a tank because we might get something. No, that's obviously a sleazeball move.
Yeah, although there are a lot of people who do that. Dude, like the people who penalized us in the mixed BAM, where I got sent to a committee and they were just like, and the director, without letting me go in and present my case, was just like, you don't have a committee in that room. You're going to be accused of cheating if you walk in there. And I was just like, what the fuck?
That
Yeah.
must have been from was that the second year when we were playing with the Berkowitzes?
No, this was from the mixed BAM when I was playing with Dory and I was playing with Cena.
Oh.
Um, and yeah, like Cena tanked for a long time over the opponent's two club Stamen bid and passed, and then I ended up doubling four hearts. And like I went and talked to Joel before the hand, and he's like, oh, I wouldn't double. And then I like explained my reasoning, and he's like, oh my god, I'm so dumb. Of course you double. Like double is a very clear like standard expert bid, but I think a lot of people won't see it that way. And of course, the committee is made up of a bunch of like soccer moms who are just
Yeah.
like there defending their hometown, and they had their pitchforks out, and they were just mad at me. Um,
Yeah, well, that thing, like if Joel Waldridge didn't see it, until it was explained to him, like you wouldn't expect those idiots to see it after it was explained to them.
right. So it was just a little bit sad. But can six spades make is a question. I was looking at a lot of tricks in spades. I mean, East West have a bunch of top cashers and can play on a cross rough, but the it does seem a little difficult on trump leads to do everything that you need.
Uh, I mean, with hearts and diamonds both splitting, can't you just so like if South leads a trump, I don't think you can do it, right? No, you can. Yeah, you just got 12 top tricks.
Ace of diamonds, diamond rough. Ace king of hearts, club to the ace, diamond rough, heart rough, diamond rough. Yeah, it looks like you do just have. Wait. No, you only have 11 top tricks, right? You always lose a
Or
club and a spade.
uh, what about on a non-trump lead? Can you compress them?
Oh, you're saying if we can set up the fifth heart to pitch our club as South roughs in. Hmm.
Effectively, well, or just like effectively that, but it's just like it by now it's trick 13 and both defenders have a winner,
Good point.
right? Because
Good point.
you can run three diamonds and dummy. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, and ace, king, ace, ace.
We do get a trump lead. I think there's just not enough entries, right?
No, you just have 12 tricks,
Oh my god. I'm
right? So let's say you win this, ace of diamonds, rough a diamond. Ace, king of hearts, picking a couple clubs, rough a heart, rough a diamond, rough a heart, which still stands up, rough a diamond,
Oh yeah, yeah,
everyone's still
yeah. Yep.
everything.
You're right. That works. That works. Declare might then need to guess if they wanted to play for 2-2 trumps or 3-1, because in the situation where trumps are 2-2 and North roughs the fourth round of hearts with a small trump and you pitch a club, South might also pitch a club, and then a club continuation promotes a trump trick for South.
Yeah, so it's interesting here because I think Bramley probably is going to think that the Queen of Spades is a false card for Queen Jack Doubleton.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jack Third is not usually an attractive trump lead, but too small might be.
Right. Um,
Particularly in a spot where, he doesn't really, you know, I guess actually, yeah, I mean, who knows? Like, I guess he probably does know that they've got a 9 card spade fitted trick one. But still, like Jack Third of Trump's not that attractive a lead.
yeah, usually that's very true. Um, but it looks like Bramley is starting off on the right foot, going after diamond roughs and setting up the hearts. We'll see if he proceeds down this path. He's only in 4 spades. I mean, he can afford to kind of fool around. Even if from here he ends up losing a spade, something gets roughed, and another trick, like a club trick, he's still going to end up making his contract. So he can kind of just play match points.
Yeah, his contract is in no danger. Like, you can provoke and still go plus.
Yeah. So heart rough, diamond rough.
I'm surprised he hasn't cashed the ace of diamonds yet.
Um, yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily think there's a need to do it yet. He can afford to do it before roughing the fourth diamond, or he might just decide that there's no reason to risk the ace of diamonds getting roughed, and he just roughs the diamond immediately. Okay, well, now that he's gone club to the ace, he can no longer set up the last heart, which I think is perfectly reasonable. He does cash the ace of diamonds at this point. It does feel a little weird to like fool around with some of the other suits and then cash the diamond ace rather than just doing it immediately.
Yeah.
But okay, he'll probably exit the Jack of Hearts here, I imagine, hoping that South is forced to win this with the Queen, and then he'll be able to safely get back to his hand to try and pull trumps when North covers. He just got a rough and hope that the trumps split. Maybe a similar line of play taken at the other table as well.
He probably does think the trump split. Yeah.
So push forward.
Could have won an imp and did not, but a pretty reasonable line of play, especially in this contract.
Right. Okay, so pace of play I feel has slowed down a little bit. I have the sense that we've been able to tell stories in between every hand and still follow the play. But this segment is 5 imps to Wolfson. after
Yeah, I think
three.
none of these players are. I think Jack is a fairly quick player, as I recall,
Hmm.
but I think the other three players at the table are not.
Yeah.
Like Bramley certainly is quite slow. Greco, I think, is like a little slow. Stamatov, I've only played against like in a two-word pair round, but I think he was pretty slow.
Right.
I
Right.
don't
Right.
know when he became an American. So there was a period when he and his partner, I think Danilov maybe, were playing for Bulgaria, and they were like one of the best pairs in Europe, but in a country that couldn't even field a second pair for a team, really, like a top level team. So I'm not surprised that they eventually left to seek better opportunities elsewhere.
Mm.
They were getting some high level US work, I think, once they started to break out in Europe. I forget for who, but makes a lot of sense that he would relocate.
Makes sense. Yeah. I know that one of our first events, McAllister was contacted by a bunch of Bulgarian players, so it easily could have been this guy. Um, and we played a little bit against them on BBO. But I,
Mm.
this is totally unfair, but John and I beat them handily on BBO when we played against them, and I was just like, I'm sorry, we can't have these guys on our team, which that was probably not a fair audition. But that's
Yeah, I
what
think
I,
also like,
yeah.
John, I think was always like somewhat conscious of his budget and how much he was spending on that. And I think like, an Eastern European pair that couldn't play in the USBF trials was gonna be a pretty good value.
Mm, yep.
Like European pairs historically were always cheaper than American ones because they couldn't play the full cycle, in particular, like, the cost of living in Bulgaria being relatively low. You could probably strike some pretty good bargains.
Yeah, so Zabatins is making 3 now. Seems like a good score. I have the suspicion that if North declares no Trump, um, it'll do quite well because I would expect East to probably lead a heart from Ace King fifth.
Hmm.
Unclear the way this auction has developed though, because now that West has
Yeah.
showed spades, East might be interested in finding a spade lead.
Yeah, I think the double W defense of either a club lead or a high heart lead in club shift is basically impossible.
Well, we don't get to find out. So other table did reach 3 no Trump, and that means that
And so they, quote unquote, wrong sided it because a high club and a hard shift when South is declaring does seem possible, but obviously they didn't find it.
right.
Yeah, so his interview was 1 no 3 no. West did lead the ace of clubs. Um, the like the non-on block card, and East played the nine, which ended the defense. No, it didn't end the defense. You could still beat a one. Um, but then West continued with the jack of clubs, which seems a little strange.
Whoops. Whoopsies. Maybe a bit of a carding mix up for East West.
Yeah, there must have been. Maybe West thought that they played standard attitude in that position of trick one, as some people do.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure what the argument for it is, but I know it's a thing.
Yeah, very possible. And if that's the case, then maybe East was just thinking, oh, I'm giving club count.
Oh no, you know what? I'm almost positive Wolfson is actually a standard signal player, so he was obviously giving standard count, and Kevin obviously thought it was standard attitude.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. So these defensive slip ups can, of course, happen.
Yeah. And
But
maybe the nine was too emphatic a card, but the five would have been hard to read, so seems like it might just be one of those things.
yeah, and I mean, this could be an even bigger swing if 3 diamonds happens to go down. A heart rough is possible, and as long as East West find that and get uh,
A spade, yeah. Yep, two hearts are rough and two black suit tricks.
Yeah, they're gonna need to be a little careful. So I mean, it has to go. The only defense to beat it is Ace of Hearts, Heart Rough, cash one club, and then switch to the Queen of Spades. Because otherwise, West gets trump squeezed. Um,
Let's get squeeze. Wow.
if it goes Ace of Hearts, Heart Rough, cash club, and then exit a trump or something, the Ace King of Spades entry to dummy will allow for the trump squeeze. Anyway, that didn't happen, so three diamonds is going to come home.
Yes, it'll hold the loss to seven imps, I believe, 290.
Right. Yep. But still, I mean, a pickup for Dinkin. They will retake the lead for getting to a bit of a thin game, and then some small misdefense allowing them to make it. Seven imps. Match is still close. We're almost a third of the way through. Board 20 coming up. We'll mark the 1/3 mark. And if this was hockey, we could have a break at the end of the first period. Five clubs by West in the other room. So Greco has a good 17. He'll definitely open a strong club here. I have to imagine North is going to stick in some heart preempt. I could see one heart, but generally against these strong club bids, you would
Yeah,
tend to preempt.
yeah, like two much more than one.
Yeah. Would you still bid two hearts if it was just a natural one club opener?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Maybe there um, one is attractive, but I feel like, two hearts is a much better description of this hand. Like we have a sixth heart and, on the weaker side of what we'll call especially red.
Sure. So two hearts by North. East probably just going to pass. I wonder what South's going to do. I mean, South has a lot of defense, so maybe you just take your chances and pass two hearts.
Yeah, I mean, it does bump it. I mean, West now almost certainly is going to double.
Right, yeah. So South does raise two hearts to three, which is not unreasonable. He has nine trumps between him. It's often correct to increase these preempts.
Yeah, I think he also he's looking at his hand he probably thinks he's going to make three hearts a lot of the time or be down only one. If the opponents act as here, he's thrilled to be defending three spades or higher. So I think that the raise is pretty sensible.
Sure. The only worry from my end is that three hearts doubled might be the final contract. I'm wondering if that's what Bramley is thinking about. He has a trump trick.
Yeah, and he doesn't know where to go. But if it is the final contract, South can be somewhat confident it'll be, if it's down two, the opponent probably make a game. And here, I take him off the hook.
Yep. So four clubs by East.
This is gonna make, but
Yeah,
still.
I wasn't sure if Greco was going to pass quickly,
Yeah.
but it's true that from his perspective, yes, he did open a strong club. His hand is kind of minimum in high cards. He has 17, and then he made a takeout double at the 3 level. Partner bid his
He has a
best
dead.
suit, but right, that's about it. That's all he has going for him at this point. So
Yeah, I mean, at this point in context, he has a dead minimum. His partner can have a 4-3-3 Yarborough with four clubs, or God forbid, a 4-3-3 Yarborough with four hearts. Maybe with that, he would bid three spades, but I think, wouldn't Greco have bid five card spade suits? So, you know, yeah. So I think Greco going quietly is pretty sensible. So here, maybe they're not going to make four. No, I guess on that lead, they're not going to make four clubs. On any other lead, they can set up the King of Hearts for a spade pitch and only lose one spade.
right, yeah. So this is going to be a bit of a funny push. Five clubs went down one in the other room, and here four clubs is going to go down one. They have two spades, a heart, and a diamond on defense. I'm a little surprised that Bramley didn't spend more time thinking about passing out the double of three hearts. It's of course a disaster if it happens to make.
And also, like if West had a little bit more, he would be raising, and they'd be making it. Like if he had the ace third of spades instead of, well, I guess that wouldn't matter, but Greco's kind of still unlimited, maybe with like one guaranteed trump trick and a possible promotion of the 10, passing is kind of attractive. I don't know. So how are they going to do in three hearts? They were going to lose
It's at
a
least down
club,
one
two diamonds, a heart, and a spade. Can they
and a club.
manage a second trick? Yeah, I said a club, two diamonds, a heart, and a spade.
Yeah, it's
If they start diamonds, can they get the 10 of hearts into play? I
only
guess
if
declare it out.
Declare elects to run the Jack of Hearts or play a heart to the Queen.
Yeah,
If Declare goes heart to the ace and a heart, then no. But I mean, you might just play the precision bidder for the King of Hearts, right? Maybe not after the pass. But yeah, it does feel like down one. So, that decision, while maybe a little bit uncertain as to whether or not Bramley should be pulling the double of three hearts, would effectively have gained a side 7 imps if he had chosen to pass with 4 clubs going down.
right. It's tough though. I mean, particularly, keep in mind, like it's the early part of, an in match where it's basically tied. The last thing you want to do is like bringing back lose three or lose five is no big deal. Bring back lose 12 and minus 730 is, a catastrophe.
Yep. Yeah, very true.
Like we're the fourth quarter, and there was some state of the match consideration. I think passing would be a lot more attractive.
Sure. So 4 clubs sails down a trick, and we do get a push. On to board 21. How is the other table doing in terms of speed? They're one board ahead of us.
Yeah, I think Finn obviously is extremely fast. Wolfson is very slow. I think Bathurst is like pretty slow.
Yep.
Dinkin, I'm not sure about.
Other table reached 3 clubs in the north. I mean, maybe they got there in one bid. I guess that's possible. So north opens 2 clubs, precision style, 6 or more clubs, 11 to 15 or so, maybe depending on vulnerability here. East
Yeah,
passes. I have to imagine West is going to balance with a takeout double. 14 count over there.
yeah. 15, I believe.
15. Oh, you're so right. 15 count. That's even better.
Yeah, there's no reason to bid 2-no Trump with good takeout double shape and a much more suit-oriented hand, ace doubleton of clubs. And then now he might bid 2-no Trump to make sure he gets in there because doubles. I guess doubles still fine. You're 4-4 in the unbid suits.
2 spades. How do we feel about that on South 6 count with no club fit?
Get natural non-forcing with a small singleton club. You know. I mean, if you put down the dummy in clubs, there's a reasonable chance you take 0 tricks. If partner puts down the dummy in spades, his dummy's probably going to be useful for a couple of things. You've got at least 3 trump winners.
Yeah, okay. Fair point. Queen Jack 10, that 9 of spades is a big card. Like, this suit's gonna play okay opposite a singleton.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't think I would have considered 2 spades as South, but then again, I'm really not a precision player.
Yeah, exactly. Like Jackson playing precision, probably 40 years.
Yeah, I also don't play non-forcing responses to weak or my preempts, so this is basically the same decision, I
It's
guess.
normal here,
Yeah.
where 2 diamond is kind of a all-purpose asking bid, and everything else is non-forcing.
Right. Greco's thinking about it. I mean, again, it's always scary coming into the opponent's auction. Like, South can have extras for this bid, North can have extras, and you come in and North redoubles, and then you just end up going for 500 against their part score.
I think it is 100% he's going to act, and he was just deciding between two no and double.
Yeah. So,
Like I don't think there was any possibility he was going to pass there.
tank double. Director, please.
Yeah.
Um,
And again, like we were saying earlier, like, there's a commentator who said, well, it shows that the action might not be work. Like, here it actually is perfect. He has 4-4 in the unbid suits and a good enough hand to act to the three level. Just sometimes you have a bunch of attractive options instead of a bunch of unattractive ones.
yeah. Well, North raises to three spades. I mean, obviously, expecting
I
South to
like,
have a little bit more for their two spade bid, I think. And I wonder
well,
if this is going to get them in trouble.
you could have a game opposite even a non-forcing spade bid, right? Just get partner you know, like six spades and a little more on high cards. The auction would have gone the same way, and your hand is enormous.
Right, so how do we feel
Right?
about going for 800 and three spades, though?
Eh, it's hard to catch. But Jack usually will have six spades for this action, so I think three spades is a pretty smart bid.
Okay, looks like we're only going for 300. I don't know. I mean, maybe West is going to lead the Queen of Hearts, and then that will alleviate some of Declare's problems. But Trump to the King, Trump to the Ace, Trump, and East West would be doing very well.
It's still not great because, and what do you do now? Like, you can take your rough immediately and then never take a club trick, or you can play a club, to preserve your spade entry to dummy, but never take a rough.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I mean, this contract is just going to be a disaster no matter what. But I'm sure
No,
North
I don't
South are
think it
going to be
is.
thrilled to have avoided a massive
I
penalty.
don't think it's going to be a disaster at all. How about you win the King of Hearts and play a club trick too?
Um, you don't think it's going to be a disaster?
I mean, I don't think you've made it yet, but I don't think it's going to be so bad if you do that. Right? You're going to lose two spades, a diamond, a club, another trick or two later. But
Yeah,
you got to
it's
guarantee tell me these doubled in the clubs is on side. Like, and by the way, the fact that he didn't take a rough suggests that's going to be his plan.
right, right,
Yep.
right. Yeah, no, I mean it's obviously not as bad as if the defense had gotten off to a Trump lead, but
Right. Yeah, in 3 rounds of trumps, they would take all four diamonds, I believe.
yeah, and the Ace of Clubs, it it was three off.
Yeah, so here it's gonna, I guess like Greco can lead a low trump to take in 3 rounds of trumps, but even that's like a little, ace and a trump is possibly attractive here. Maybe not, because he knows those clubs are now set up, which is pretty horrible for his side.
Right. Yeah, he needs to start knocking out dummy entries. Just play a heart. I mean, I'm sure at this point Greco is trying to figure out how he can ever beat the contract a trick. Um, but he'll probably settle on something like a low spade to partner's king followed by a heart switch is gonna be fine.
Yeah, I suspect this is going to be a fairly slow trick because Greco knows things are not pretty grim for side. Like this is easily the kind of hand where like there's exactly one thing you have to do, and if you don't do it, they just make this insane contract.
Yeah, he's probably gonna need his. I mean, he definitely needs his partner to have the diamond ace, and so then the real question is just like you have to knock out entries to North's club suit, and a heart feels pretty straightforward because that's always going to be an entry. You're at some point going to have to get in with the spade ace and tap North and diamonds as well, but you can kind of delay that decision for a trick or two from now when you have more information. So he does go for the heart, and
So now, if you're Zhao, do you play a diamond now, or do you start playing clubs immediately?
good question. I guess I guess I would play a diamond. There's no risk in getting completely cut off from the clubs because the eight of spades is available in dummy.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, but he's obviously giving it some consideration here.
Right. I mean, he's just trying to avoid going down like too many because minus 300 would look silly. Then again,
Yeah.
when you make two spade bids like this, you have to expect that minus 300 is in play often. I'm sure he's used to it. Maybe that's not right. Maybe I should be playing clubs right now. Club pitching a diamond, club pitching a diamond. Just let them start roughing, but
Yeah, you'll notice, by the way, I think one reason Greco might be reluctant to play trumps before he knows more about the deal is I'm sure that he thinks that South spade length is like 5.8 or something. Like 6 is just much, much more likely than 5.
right. Yeah, for sure. All right, so
Yeah,
club pitching a diamond.
seems fine.
And then it seems right to play another club pitching another diamond to me because, again, we're getting to the state where if the player with three trumps roughs, we might be able to then just pull trumps
Right.
and use the clubs to ditch all of our other red suit losers. We, of course, would love to see East follow with, or show out on the next round of clubs. That would be very helpful. Then if East roughs, we can over rough and then rough a hard and play another club. It seems unlikely given the way the first club trick went. East played the jack and then didn't follow with the 10 on this second round of the suit. But okay, so Declara does go for 2 rounds of clubs, pitching diamonds. Greco can probably be fairly double dummy from here.
Yeah, they just have to make sure that they remember to cash these the diamonds.
Well,
Nothing
doesn't he need to play a heart, or does it not matter? I guess on a heart,
No,
Declara can throw a
they
diamond.
can just play a diamond and he's all the ace king of spades.
Oh, sure, but he's trying to beat it too, right?
I think maybe now he's trying to beat it 2. I think earlier he was trying to beat it 1.
Yeah, definitely. But maybe there's no way to actually beat it too. Like, if Greco plays a heart and Declara roughs, I think he ends up going down 2. Then the opponents have tapped North's hand enough times, but I think Declara can pitch a diamond from the dummy.
I see. Like if Greco plays a heart, you pitch a diamond, and now there's not much the defense can do
Right.
to take a trick.
Yeah. Yeah, because you have all of the trump spots is what South has to rough clubs high on hand to get back to rough more diamonds in the dummy.
Yeah, and Greco obviously, like we can see that there's nothing to it, but from his point of view, like he still probably thinks he needs to conjure up a 5th trick.
Yep. Well, King of Diamonds is going to make Declara's life much easier. Now, any red suit return, Declara can just rough a club high, rough the other red suit, and then pull trumps. So, kind of an exciting push at down 1. The other table played in the much tamer three club contract and also escaped for down one there.
Yeah, I suspect he's going to tap the dummy here and like hope something interesting happens in the trump suit, and it'll be much more mundane than he's expecting.
Right. All right. So heart. Declare will get to rough this. Be careful to rough a club now. Don't want to play a spade.
A little surprising to me that he tapped to Claire with a heart instead of a diamond. Wasn't there some chance that heart was a rough fluff?
Maybe.
Maybe an irrelevant rough fluff.
Yeah, I don't think it's all that relevant. I think he was just, maybe partner's actually out of hearts, whereas I think he knows partner's not out of diamonds.
Yeah, it's possible.
The Ten of Hearts also gives Bramley all of the information about the deal. Now he knows that West still has the Jack of Hearts from the opening lead, and so he should know Declare's shape more or less. This has been a very slow hand. I'm running out of things to say.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like this is just every player at the table thinks this is some incredibly complicated hand, and it's just like down one next hand.
Yep. Yep. That's true. I'm curious about the auction in the other room. No, I shouldn't. I really shouldn't look. They're also 3 boards ahead of us now.
Yeah, well, obviously in clubs, there's like just none of these weird considerations or things to think about. You just lose your top losers and get on with your life.
Yep.
Yeah, so just gonna rough a diamond with the 8. Here we go, and
He probably roughs with the 5.
with the 5, yeah. So
And
right now,
now there's just no question.
Yeah.
Ducked. Making. I guess it wouldn't be making yet, but that would be a funny way to put some more pressure on. Okay, spade to the ace. Declare can now show his hand and claim. All right, on to board 22. So we are, close to halfway through the set. One no trump in the West was the contract in the other room, so West has, I guess Dinkin would have opened the south hand, a heart in their system, but Greco has a pretty straightforward one no bid-ish. I guess you open that a club. He has 17, right? Can I count?
I mean, you couldn't on the last hand.
That's so true. Don't remind me. But it does look like 17.
Yeah, so I suspect it'll be a club, a diamond, and no trump. I think East is, even with those 2 10s, not gonna lie and make a positive.
Yeah, but then over a no trump, East is probably going to invite, right?
I would think. I mean, presumably that it's like a 17 to 19. I mean, they probably play Kokish, right? So they can shout. Wow. So I guess they play 15 to 17. I take it back. Oh, in fact, third vulnerable is 15. Is their only 15 to 17 seat?
Yep. This A. Holland guy seems to be like a system guru. He knows everything about everyone's system.
Yeah, he like I don't think he has a life besides commenting in these, so I think he's just like seen all these systems a million times. I feel like every time I watch like one of these, he's commenting.
Yeah, he does seem to be doing this a lot. Whoa! Well, we knew that this guy was aggressive based on the previous board. 2 hearts feels fairly aggressive.
It really does. Like, this doesn't seem like a position where you're likely to be stolen from. quite surprising to
I
me.
feel like two hearts doubled is going to be the final. Well, maybe Bramley balances with two spades, right? But I could
Oh,
see
I think he
him
balanced with all.
double. Yeah.
I mean, you never miss a spade fit by doubling, so why are you bidding two spades on 9/4 when you can do this? Right? I mean, like, prove me wrong, Bart Bramley, but
All right. Well, he is thinking. I mean, he might elect to just pass it out. I don't think it's that
yeah.
crazy. Ha! Ha! I mean, not
Oh,
ha. Like, I feel so angry when people get away with these awful overcalls and they don't get punished for it. And one of the things that I think is important that maybe players like Bart Bramley, who's just really old, don't really pick up on is that if you see an opponent stepping out of line, especially like on that previous hand, the two spade bid, and I mean maybe he thinks like two spades was just normal on the previous deal, and
like as I said, like I think two spades is very sensible, so maybe he
yeah,
does
like
too.
it's very possible he doesn't think that. But for me, if I see a player bid like that, then I'm just gonna look to double them on every hand that I possibly can for the remainder of the match, and figure that I'm gonna
Yeah,
go plus.
I would keep one thing in mind, which is that Bramley is a precision system player. So if he thinks that two spades was normal, I would trust his judgment on that fact over either of ours.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. But I don't think this is necessarily a precision system thing. I think this is just a
No,
partners
I mean
open
the
to no trump.
two spade bit on the previous round, I think, was a precision
Oh,
system.
on the previous round. Yes, no, you're probably right about that. I just think that it's still possible that Bramley isn't really thinking about the context of like, oh, this guy did something crazy on the previous board. Let's just start doubling him on every hand. Whereas that's always been my philosophy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean, like I think there are people who think like, oh, like they went for a number and learn their lessons, settle in. Like my experience statements here is like crazy players are just crazy.
yep.
You know, you're crazy. They don't, you know, they don't take their meds between boards.
Right, right, right. Well, anyway, so I mean, we can talk a little about the two spade bid. So Bramley didn't transfer to spades, therefore this bid only shows four. It's basically like a takeout double of hearts with four spades. Maybe there's some reasoning where like this is his way to take out hearts with four, and double specifically is for both minors. But
Yeah. So how are they gonna do in two hearts double? They're gonna lose a spade, three hearts, that's four, three diamonds is seven,
a club.
one club. Yeah, so it's just a fairly trivial 500 with you know, with no real like possibility of the defense slipping up and conceding an extra trick.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Hey PJF, good morning to you. You thought they were going to balance into 3 no trump. How does 3 no do? You're probably going to get the diamond right in 3 no.
Are you?
I think given this
I
2
don't.
heart bid.
Yeah, but the problem is if you do that, how do you cast the fourth one?
Well, we use a heart entry to dummy to like run the 10 of diamonds and then play a diamond to the jack. It's
But you need them
true.
specifically. You need them specifically 3/3, where the other way. Like, doesn't South rate to be shorter in diamonds though? And you just pick them up anytime the queen is in north. I don't know. I think it would be pretty normal to get it wrong.
I don't think it's unreasonable to get it wrong, but we pick up queen doubleton with south as well. Um,
Yeah, it's true. By the way, like this might be the only pair in the entire event that was playing this two heart bit as natural.
because you think that 2 hearts here just has to show 2 suitor.
I think most people play some, hearts in a minor method,
Yeah.
and presumably they're playing like Meckwell or something like it, where like double is one thing, two of each minor is some different thing, and the two of major bids are natural.
Mm. Well, Declare is kind of, I would say, forced into getting the diamond suit right now. Not really forced, but he's probably going to because he's been left in dummy. Like it's
Yeah, I mean, although
pretty.
he's gonna be a little suspicious about why he's there, you know.
Yeah, that's definitely true. But I
I
would
think he
rather
might just
have
lead a
North
club.
on lead than South.
So might he not just lead a club to the 8 now?
Club to the 8. Oh my God, what is that line of play?
I think
Well, he's in
like
2-0,
catch
right?
10 of
Like
clubs, catch
we're
honor 10 of clubs outside, and then finesse diamonds the other way for another dummy entry.
yeah, but he only needs 8 tricks. Um, okay, he does play diamond to the king, right? Like his whole plan is to take 3 diamonds, 3 hearts, and 2 black aces. He doesn't need an extra club trick. He has all of the tricks on power as long as he doesn't like lose a bunch of black suit tricks. We're not in 3 now. In 3 now, I think that there's a lot of merit to doing something else other than whatever he's doing here. More likely to play spade. I think Craig's point was that the clubs potentially can be played for 2 tricks on power, just needing honor 10 on side. Spades, you're going to need better luck than that.
Yeah, there's no realistic possibility that both spade honors are outside. I don't think once South was a passed hand.
Yeah, I don't really like this line of play. I'm also not convinced that it's terrible. I think it's, maybe we're talking 51 versus 49 if we're throwing
Mhm.
percentages in there. But I would have preferred to just run the diamond into North's hand because I think there's maybe slightly less chance that North is actually able to tackle and set up one of the black suits on their own, whereas now South could potentially set up one of the black suits, get in with the diamond queen, and then play to their partner's hand. But looks like 2-0 Trump is going to be pretty safe regardless on a black suit switch. I mean, it looks to me like Declare can just win the fly ace, take the diamond hook, have it lose, and then still lose 3 tricks in that black suit and come out okay.
Uh, Interesting. So fall NABC, you'll no longer have to wear the stupid vaccination bracelet.
Yeah, so we have a comment about Rodwell's eligibility.
I suspect he's going to still have a hard time finding high level work.
Sure.
Like maybe Maxtra will want to play with him again, but I think that partnership would have been done regardless.
Mm-hmm. All right, so this is kind of exactly what I had suggested. South does find a spade switch, which I suppose technically is not the most beneficial to his side. A club would have been more helpful. Um, but Declare flies ace of spades, takes the diamond hook, and is now completely protected as long as North South can't cash 4 spade tricks. So it's going to be a push board. 2-0 Trump making 8 tricks in both rooms. Never really in all that much jeopardy. But I do wonder, it's going to be important to keep an eye on South going forward, right? Because if board 21 was normal, from South's position, I think it's very clear that board 22 was not. This was a very
Yeah,
light
I agree with that.
2 hurt bid, and so we'll have to see if Bramley and Greco change up their style a little bit against this player or against this pair.
Yeah, I think they've probably played a fair number of boards against Jack, but I bet like not a ton. I mean, he's been living in Florida for um God, like at least 5 years. I think almost certainly longer.
Mm-hmm.
He's played all the U.S. nationals. I think I'm sure he plays a lot of regionals. So probably somewhat familiar with his style by now.
Right, right. Okay, well, this was an exciting result in the other room. Two diamonds doubled in the north.
Mind, Bramley also does a lot of like analysis, match routes for the bridge world, stuff like that. So he's probably seen a lot of hands on paper also.
Yeah, that's a good point. 11
Meanwhile,
count
the
the
other team
south.
is 4 boards ahead, and it is now 1:45 almost in Chicago, with the next set scheduled to start at I think 3:30. So it feels like they're in time trouble here.
Yeah, although remember, apparently there's a 30-minute broadcast delay. So,
Oh, that's right. That's right.
yeah, they are probably a little bit behind, but it's not as bad as it seems.
Right. It's 1:15 at this stage in the actual match.
Yeah.
But still, if it's going to take them until, like, if it's, 1:15 at the table, when they got to this point, 8 boards to go at this pace, they're not going to finish until 2:30, and I suspect that's going to be at least half an hour late.
Okay, so this is all kind of consistent to me. The South has opened a diamond with this mediocre 11. Especially if you're playing a precision system, it makes sense, but from what we've seen of the South player, he likes to be hyper aggressive in his bidding. So no surprise that he
Yeah.
opens here.
And this one honestly just feels normal to me.
Yeah. Alright, by North. East comes in with a spade. And West able to make a natural 2 no trump bid. Those are so rare these days.
Yeah.
I mean, if 3 clubs was non-forcing, I think that bid already would have appeared on the table from East.
He just may not be sure.
Right, yeah, so I wonder, would you play 3 clubs as forcing here?
I would very much want it to like forgetting that I'm biasing the hand. I would want it to be non-forcing. I think it probably should be non-forcing, but I would also probably be taking my time here.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment.
I mean, I think given that you have 2 qubits available, it's almost got to be non-forcing.
It's a little
Like, are you
awkward though if you really do have this hand with spades and clubs with values, then he does bid 3 clubs, by the way. And you have to cubit and force your side above 3 no trump before you even show your suit, right? Because like a diamond cubit could just be like, do you have honor doubleton of spades in support? Or do you really feel
no?
good about no trump?
I take it back. I don't think 3 diamonds is a qubit.
Oh, you're saying 3 hearts is the only cue.
I think 3 diamonds now. Like South can have 0 diamonds. So I think both minors should be treated the same way. Presumably natural non-forcing.
Sure. Okay, gotcha. Well, 3 clubs by East, and now Greco's giving it a bit of a stare. It would. I don't know how bad it is to actually end up in 3 now, East West. I'm guessing it's bad, but.
It's pretty bad. I think you need the space to come in since you're so wide open in the diamond suit, and the clubs are too weak to run. Basically, you need one of the black suits to run, right?
Yeah, I mean, double dummy. I guess it looks to me like Declare probably would just set up the club suit and hope that the diamonds block. That seems reasonable to me. You're still going to need an extra trick somewhere. Like, they're going to lead a heart against 3 now, and Declare is just going to go ace, king, clubs, and a club. And then you're probably going to have to take the spade finesse if you want to make it. But it also kind of looks like maybe the opponents end up just cashing 4 rounds of diamonds from there.
Yeah, and presumably, actually, I shouldn't say presumably. I mean, do you lead a hardest north knowing partner has a doubleton at most?
Oh my god. Maybe you're alluding to a point that one of the commentators made. Not sure why Zhao didn't make a support double over one spade. This could be a bit of an old-fashioned thing. I know that he's a fairly a senior type player at this point. That some players still don't make support doubles with minimums as opener.
When they have a complete row. Yeah, I think he's like, I don't think he's super old. I would guess Jack is like around 60. Like, I don't
Hmm.
think he's, Berkowitz Bramley type age.
Okay. Okay.
Let's take a look here. So just looking. So his first WBF event was 1998 in Lille.
Hmm.
And then didn't win a medal until 2003. So, if he's been playing high level bridge for 25 years, and let's say, you know, like, I mean, I don't really know because, like, maybe China was like, a harder country to represent internationally if, there were political considerations as well as skill considerations. But I would bet that he's like, he can't be that old if he's only been playing at the world level for 25 years.
Hmm. Well, plus 130 has been called from the chat. So let's see if that's actually what's going to happen. I mean, on this lead, Declare apparently is just going to play 2 rounds of hearts, cross to the club ace, play a third heart pitching a diamond, and probably play a spade to the 10 given the auction. And that's going to result in losing a club and a spade. It looks like 150 to me, which is also 2 umps. Declare can cash 2 rounds of clubs and then rough the third round of spades and dummy. Losing just a club and a spade trick.
2 diamonds doubled north. Wow.
Just another Dinkin special, I'm sure. He probably opened a no trump with the south hand again, right?
Uh, Second choice.
A diamond?
Actually, let's go right to your third or fourth choice because the second one I knew was going to be wrong.
A
Also,
spade?
that's the one.
Why? What is... Okay, hold on. This could be good news. Because what ends up...
Very strange actions by Finn. Also,
Yeah. But okay, here's my speculation. Um, I think I think Finn and Sam are having a good time. Now, this is terrible news for Finn. I made the same comment about Olivia playing with Sam Dinkin, and I think this is equally the same for Finn. If they're having a lot of fun, then Sam is going to want to hire Finn again. And so that's good news for him, that he'll get more work out of it. But yeah, it is producing some pretty ridiculous results. So we do see the line of play that I was suggesting: 2 rounds of hearts, cross to dummy, pitch the diamond loser. Now spade to the 10. South can try and cash a diamond, but that's not going to succeed. So Declare just needs to be technical from here. Club to the king, spade to the ace, spade rough. Maybe he can be worried about 4-1 clubs. I mean, I guess it's possible that he might actually just go ace of spade, spade rough from here. But nope. Club to the king.
yeah. So it looks like this will be 2 imps to Wolfson. Is that right?
Yep. Yeah, and we're going to have a tie match once again. 7 boards to play in this segment, and they are 4 boards ahead at the other table. Well, once this board concludes, they will be 4 boards ahead, so maybe they're even more than that. $150 on to board 24. So there will be a bit of a short break between sets. I honestly am not that hungry, but I should probably eat before the next segment starts, and I do need to put together that hand that I have a story for. So I will try and do that in between segments. I'm gonna shut the stream down to do all of those things. But we will be back. When is, let's see, BBO Vugraph schedule. 5 p.m. Eastern. So that's like a little over 2 hours from now. I will be back to do commentary for the third quarter of play. Looks like they missed a cold slam. 4 no trump in the West, making 6. Cold slam. Cold slam has been called. Yeah, the 2-2 club split helps them out.
Yeah, without that one.
I mean, 6 clubs
Yeah.
is not a terrible spot. You can pitch the heart, ruff a heart, and go ace king of clubs in a club, and maybe someone's end played into leading spade away from the queen.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't say that I would be excited to play 6 clubs, but I think it's a perfectly fine spot to be in. 6 no trump doesn't look like the place to be, though. Well, East West off to a good start here. They found the club fit at a low level. West hand is limited from a precision context, which I think is actually going to be really good news for him, because when East makes a forward-going move, West isn't going to be all that shy about showing his controls, knowing that he's already limited his hand.
Yeah, I think that's a fairly common hand type in precision where your hand starts out bad, but then you have a lot of maximums because your range is pretty constrained.
Right. So diamond, 2 clubs by East, 3 clubs by West. We'll have to see what East elects to do. I mean, he has 19, right, and has of course found a club fit. But he knows partner doesn't have like a super distributional hand. I think it kind of is guaranteed that West is in the weak no trump range at this point in the auction. Like, how could you open a diamond with a distributional hand otherwise? I guess
Yeah,
West,
so
he could have a stiff diamond, right?
I suspect that so our South could. I got a feeling this West couldn't because we saw that they couldn't open 2 diamonds on the hand where he had an actual weak 2 diamond bid. So I think they're playing 2 diamonds as a stiff diamond 3 suited.
Mm,
Um, where North South was when we were playing multi and 1 diamond showed a void. We learned that earlier. Yeah,
got
and in fact,
it.
it looks like it's confirming that interpretation.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So yeah, then it looks like West's hand is basically a weak no trump with clubs. What does West do with both minors?
I think you open a diamond and rebid clubs, and partner knows that your length is 100% ambiguous.
Well, I think the question was in relation to the 2 club bid. Yeah, maybe that's a fair point. Maybe it, depending on how distributional West is, West might have a 4 club bid available to show a hand like
Right?
that.
Yeah, I mean that's possible. We also don't know. I'm assuming 2 clubs was a guarantee of at least 4 clubs, since you have so many options between 1 diamond and 2 clubs. But I don't, what do you do if you're 3-3-4-3 and no number of no trump is suitable? I guess then you can bid an inverted 2 diamonds and hope to sort it out later.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was I was gonna say tank 5 clubs. Do we call the director on this one? Because West doesn't have the trump queen. Four diamonds is key card for clubs, and five clubs showed two with the queen. Well, this is going to be a swing to Wolfson.
I suspect that that tank was also just West, running down in his mind if there was any possibility for diamonds was not exclusion.
Kickback, yeah. Or minor,
Like
I,
we've seen a lot of
whatever it is.
those. We've seen a lot of those where like this particular West seems to pause a lot in somewhat normal situations just to make sure his methods are what he thinks they are.
Sure. Yeah.
And obviously I'm like mind reading a little bit, but it's had that feel to it.
Yep. Well, he does not have the club queen, but again, kind of said as Bramley, I wouldn't be like thrilled about being in six clubs here, but I think it's a fine spot, and he's going to be quite happy when the clubs do come home.
Yeah, and obviously Greco does think he has the trump queen because I suspect this two club bid is almost never as few as four.
Mm-hmm.
Like assuming that they can bid an inverted two diamonds when they have a four card diamond suit and no trump the rest of the time. This hand where you have enough to make a slam try, but an unstopped suit is super rare.
Right.
So it's normal to show extra length as the queen, and West, certainly thinks he has a 10 card club fit.
Ooh, good point, PJF. Yeah, does North get squeezed and they make seven? He does. He does, in fact. I mean, this is one of these hands where, like, I wouldn't be playing it out. Like, yes, if I was paying attention and noted the squeeze, which I guess I probably should have, then at the table I would just be like, okay, king, queen of diamonds, pitching a heart. I'm going to cash the ace, king of hearts, and run the clubs. North, if you happen to have five hearts and the spade queen, you get squeezed. And, that would be my claim, effectively.
Yeah, it's much easier to visualize the squeeze when you have, like, even as much as the heart 10 or something.
Right, yeah.
Like, visualizing, like, effectively the deuce of hearts as a squeeze card is kind of hard.
Sure. Um, but yeah, it
Oh my,
does.
we got another Dinkin special on the way in a few hands.
Oh no. So you're saying the match might
Oh,
not be tied by the end of the
oh,
segment?
it's a good one.
Okay, this is interesting from our ViewGraph operator. We get the following claim. Now, who is this? We have no idea who these ViewGraph operators are. I guess oftentimes they'll put in their profile who it is, and that's how they identify them.
In fact, Bramley did not visualize the squeeze possibility without better hearts. Like visualizing the squeeze on weird distribution, obviously, is like a little hard.
Yeah, very, very true. And there's no harm in playing for it, other than like,
Except that they're in time trouble.
yeah, right. Which is why, like, to some extent, it depends on the level of competition you're playing. Against these guys, if you claim on a squeeze, they're gonna say okay. But
Right.
against some players, if you like try and claim on a squeeze, like the director is gonna get involved, and like I have been ruled against when I've claimed on squeezes before, so it's
Yeah. Here. Yeah, I mean, here he just asked if the Queen of Spades was doubles in. He didn't even like visualize the squeeze, obviously.
right, not unreasonable. There was no difference in 920 or 940 in his imp result on the hand, so pretty.
Have you ever had the hand where like you were declaring against another strong expert, playing in some way where it was obvious that you had seen the squeeze, the guy was going to be squeezed, and he folded his hand?
Yeah, all the
Yeah,
time.
me too. I was wondering how common that was.
Yeah, that happens all the time. I mean, I've done that on defense as well, and
Yeah.
I've seen it on ViewGraph also. So it does appear to come up frequently enough.
Yeah.
Four spades in the north. I mean, you could say it's been a bit of a light auction. North opened a 10 count, 5-5 in the blacks with a singleton queen, and South game forced 13 with a singleton queen. But it looks like they got to a good spot. The hands fit fairly well together. I think Declare is just going to do the right thing by accident on this hand. Like, he'll take a spade hook and the king drops doubleton. He'll take the club hook the normal way and it's onside. So ace of diamonds at trick one. Singleton pops up in dummy, so West is getting suit preference on this trick. Seven of diamonds is a high suit preference, asking for hearts, which East is not going to be all that happy about, but maybe he has no choice other than to switch to hearts.
Yeah, I think East, can be optimistic and hope partners heart to race queen, but I guess then they're not cashing.
Right, yeah, that's the problem. North has a singleton then. And he also has to be worried. This is one of those things where there's a big difference between playing with like a sponsor, for example, and playing with another expert player. Like West might signal for hearts if he had singleton queen. West might signal for hearts if he had stiff ace, of course, or any holding with the ace. So East has to be wary that West might be thinking, hey, our best chance to beat this is if we can get Declare to misguess hearts at trick two. And maybe Bart Bramley is like, I have other ideas, So obviously he kind of sees that tapping the dummy isn't really going to work out all that well for his side, but maybe if Declare happened to have a third diamond, continuing diamonds here would be useful. Then we can force South's hand twice and our king of spades scores the trick. So maybe he's thinking about continuing the diamond suit. Very possible. I'm pretty sure what he knows is not working is switching to clubs. If partner really had the ace queen of clubs or like ace jack 10 of clubs or whatever where a club switch would be useful, partner would not have played that 7 of diamond.
Yeah.
What? Excuse me? How could this ever be the play?
Obviously it isn't, but it's the only way to beat the contract is if, you know, like, well, so how did the auction go? Yeah, so I think the only way to beat the contract is like if partner actually had King Jack 7 of diamonds and Declare his game try was like Jack 10 third of clubs instead of Ace Jack 10 fifth.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's true that if partner's diamond happened to be low, like the 7 of diamonds being low, then yes, that would make sense.
Yeah, but I think right the other one where it was a signal for hearts, he knows is hopeless. So
Yep. Yeah. But I think there was some merit in tapping dummy. Continuing diamonds. But I guess Bramley worked out some layout of the card. It really could have been that plan where he's just like, maybe partner's diamond signal was asking for clubs.
yeah, obviously, like I think he knows that it's probably hopeless, but it's the only thing that might be like consistent with both beating the hand and with a layout that could exist.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Timo. Welcome back. All right. 10 tricks. 10 tricks? Wait, how did 10 tricks happen? Did I miss a trick? Did the king of spades score? Oh, the king of spades scored. Okay.
I guess maybe in three, there was some safety play. I don't know.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, didn't take the spade finesse. That's fairly reasonable. I'll declare kind of had a claim on the hand once the club switch happened to the queen.
So,
Wow.
yeah, so we've got a cold five diamonds for east to west. Did north south have a good save? D3, I guess they don't because east can get roughs.
Yeah. And
And either,
3 no happens to make east west as well.
right, with the spade splitting.
Yeah, getting to 5 diamonds is really nice. I'm curious. Okay, 3 diamonds double by south. Now I kind of expect west to just
I
try
think
5
that's
diamonds.
very quickly. Yeah, how do we feel about, I mean, obviously we've seen the south is very aggressive. How do we feel about this red takeout double?
Is that your passive aggressive way of saying that you hate it? I
No, no, I mean, I,
I
I actually kind of like it, but, you know, does the world?
I think it's
Like,
fine.
Bramley, by the way, is a pretty aggressive preemptor from what I recall, so maybe that also makes it more attractive.
Yep. Yeah, I'm okay with the double. I would say it would be clear if the clubs and hearts were switched. Then I have 2 very strong majors, and clubs is just like kind of that suit that no one's ever gonna bid.
Right.
But it's okay. We have a singleton diamond, right? If we are getting to
Yeah,
game, we need to bid. So feels
yeah, and if it goes
fine.
three down, fast, the partner sitting there with like a balanced 13 count with a four card major, he's going to pass and it's going to be horrible.
Mm-hmm.
So Dinkin made the same double. So yeah, although obviously Dinkin also a hyper aggressive player. Um, yeah, I mean, I think like you're not loving it when you make this double, but I think it's a pretty good practical action.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Like
Greco
you're
hasn't found a call yet. I mean, he's kind of simming hands that his partner might hold and trying to count the number of losers. A big piece of the puzzle here is that his partner has 3 hearts, right? If we stick partner with a doubleton and hearts, or even a singleton and hearts, then we happen to have 3 black suit losers, and 5 diamonds has no play.
so here's a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there's any possibility he's thinking about redoubling just in case partner can hit something, and if not, then he bids five diamonds?
I'm Well, I think redouble is possible. Redouble is definitely possible. But, I mean, is 5 diamonds so clear of a bid? I guess if
No.
the East has 8 card diamond suits in his range, especially given how weak his diamonds are, then 5 diamonds has to be the choice.
Yeah, I think this particular East, doesn't even when we're looking at the Ace King, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, so I mean, if that's the case, right, like the only reason that we can ever make 5 diamonds is when partner has a trick outside of diamonds and 3 hearts. And how often does that happen? Right? Like imagine East had the same hand with ace doubleton of hearts and, well, 3 small spades or 2227, 2272. I mean, we only have 10 tricks. So in that case, redouble and then just planning to double whatever the opponents do is a sensible way to try and collect a decent penalty when we aren't convinced 5 diamonds is making our way.
Mhm.
Now, in this case, I kind of suspect it's going to go 3 hearts double.
Oh, I think it definitely will. I mean, Bramley couldn't really have a better hand for that action. So Larry suggesting that if the opponent bid hearts, then he can bid three no trump.
Mm,
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm sold on that argument, but I think so. Stamatov with equal length in every other suit has decided to pass it around to Jack, which seems sensible.
oh yeah, sure, sure. That's a good point. Um, so pass pass. South should balance with three hearts, of course. Maybe South should balance three spades. Oh no, North could do this with like 4-5 and hearts, right? Looking for a 4-4 spade fit or a 5-3 heart fit.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
So now I suspect Greco is going to be very slow at this turn also.
that's true. I feel like redouble is forcing here, like pass is forcing by West. That would be my understanding.
Probably.
Yeah, otherwise it feels like, oh, when did 11 imps happen? Oh, that was just the six club hand. I
Yeah.
was just like, wait, why is Dinkin in the lead by so much?
Yeah, because they
All right. Golf clap to Larry Cohen for his analysis on this hand that West wanted to bid three no trump. It's somewhat reasonable to me that West is hoping 3-0 is going to be the better spot as opposed to 5 diamonds, right? For all the negative issues that I talked
yeah.
about, um, I'm
I
kind of
mean,
surprised that they got to
on
five
a hard
diamonds.
on a hard lead away from the ace, he expects to have a trick one claim.
Right, yeah, and 3-0. That's
Right.
100% true. And even if not, partner might have some stuff in spades, a spade card.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of like other ways to make it, but like that fact being true is a pretty good argument for three no trump.
Right, yeah. So again, it can depend on partnership understanding of this 3 diamond bid.
Mhm.
Bathurst did jump to 5 diamonds directly over the double. Maybe one of his concerns was honestly that the opponents might be making four of a major, and he just wanted to get to 5 diamonds quickly and prevent any sort of difficult decision at the four level.
Yeah. I think there's a couple of other things, one of which being that Wolfson is probably a more conservative preemptor than Bramley, but the other being that um, he might not have wanted to get too experty opposite a player who, you know, doesn't tend to do that well in very subtle auctions.
Right. Yep. So that all makes sense. The opponents do get to four hearts. East, of course, doubles. I have to imagine that, well, okay. Greco might find a 5 diamond bid at this point. It's a little weird, but now he might suspect his partner is likely to have three hearts. So 5 diamond prospects become a little bit better.
Yeah, I think that's what this double shows. So, um, although obviously, I mean, maybe he does even kind of need to have three hearts and, ace third. Like, would he double with 10 third of hearts here? Oh,
Yeah, but the whole point is we're assuming partner has a card outside, right? He can't just have 10 third of hearts and queen seventh of diamonds, or can
no,
he?
no, that's what I'm saying, but like, maybe he does actually kind of need to have exactly ace third, in which case Greco can just count 11 tricks.
Sure. Yeah. 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 Unless partner's 3370, but hopefully that's not what's going on. Um,
Uh, right. Then you do have 11 tricks, but the opponents, if they lead a spade, have three first.
yep.
You still make it if they lead a heart, so.
Right. Well, okay. So I mean, he's thinking about it. He's probably expecting the ace of diamonds doesn't cash most of the time in this scenario.
Right.
Although I'm I might be of the belief that the opposite is true. Like we have 11 diamonds and the opponents don't really know that for this auction. So South, what's their expected diamond length? Well, singleton. Okay, makes sense. South made a takeout double. What's North? Like North might be looking at a singleton diamond and being like, yeah, I have great offensive potential. I don't think it's so clear that one of them must have a void, but
Yeah.
but
And
for,
meanwhile, the only way to beat this two is to get is to get two club roughs, which is, you know, probably going to be challenging with West on lead. I think leading the ace of clubs is a little much.
the only way to beat this two is to get two
You can lead the
club
king of hearts and
roughs.
switch
We
to
can't get three club roughs, right?
we don't have enough entries.
Yeah, so it doesn't seem that hard to get two club roughs because we get in with a heart, right? So like we can lead a high diamond. I mean, let's say we lead a high diamond.
Oh, that's true. You lead a high diamond, ace of clubs, rough, heart over, or get in with the queen of hearts and let partner rough with the ace. That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
still would be a swing. I mean, a small swing to Wolfson then for getting out for 500.
Yeah.
North South have done well to play in the worst trump fit because in spades, getting multiple club roughs would be kind of a disaster for North South. They're still going to end up losing three heart tricks.
The mysterious Vondercheck principle.
That playing in the weaker trump suit is better.
Yeah, there's a name for it. I think that's what it is. And like it was the Bridgewater article on it was called like the mysterious principle.
It is somewhat mysterious. I've had the experience many times where, playing in a trump suit of ace king fifth ups at three small is better than playing an ace king queen sixth ups at three small. I think that's the classic example, right? Like when you have, if your hand is ace king fifth, ace king queen fifth, like let's say ace king doubleton stiff ace, and you know partner is three small, and your two long suits, then which slam is better? And this, I mean, not that exact same hand, but that equivalent problem came up in one of the local tournaments I was playing with Mike Gill, if you know who that is.
I
And
do, yeah. He was from Maryland, right?
yeah, he used to play with Noble Shore a bunch.
Yep.
Um,
That makes sense.
and so Mike Gill was in the position where where he knew all of this information and had to make a judgment call, and he got it wrong. He was just like, oh, of course we play in the ace king queen fifth suit because that's a stronger trump suit. But realistically, you always lose a trick in the ace king fifth ups at three small suit. And so it's very important to be able to go ace king and then play ace king queen and rough in case the other suit's 4-1.
Yeah, Andrew. So there was an article by Felix Vondercheck in the February 1956 Bridge World titled "The Weaker Suit for Trumps."
Hmm.
I'm not sure if it was ever digitized. We'll see if I can find it and paste it into the chat.
Long thought by Greco here. I mean, I'm sure he's probably of the impression that even if he gets the maximum penalty here, it's going to be 500. And of course, if he leads a diamond and it gets roughed, he might only get 200 against this. I guess on a bad day, four hearts doubled can make. His side might collect, a trump trick, a club trick, and partner's ace of spades or something. Yeah, we do have plenty of time to find some old bridge articles because the pace of play, I think all of Greco's bids have gotten exponentially slower on this hand. First the redouble, then 3-0.
But if anyone does happen to have the 1956 Bridge World, actually, it's possible I have it, although I don't think so. But I recently bought so I have a more or less complete collection of Bridge World starting in the early 60s. And recently I bought a few from the mid late 50s and early 60s, and I think they started around 58. But I could be wrong. Of course, they're back in Portland, but if I do happen to have it, I can try to find the article at some point. I think one of the things I focused on was like weird 10 card fits where like Ace King Queen fifth opposite five small is a worse trump suit than Ace King fifth opposite three small, like that kind of thing. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Am I doing something wrong? Larry Cohen has claimed that this is 800.
Um, Larry Cohen is claiming this is 800. Well, can they just leave trumps? Probably not, right? I
Uh,
don't think this is 800, but Larry's a better player than I am.
I don't know. Hold on. I need to count this again. So we get the ace of clubs and two roughs is three tricks. We get a diamond is four, and two more trumps is that is 800. Oh,
Here, one, two, three, four, five, six. Oh, you're right. There's six tricks for
oh
defense.
yeah, no, it is just an easy 800. Wow. Yo, if Greco knew that 800 was in play, I'm sure he would be excited to pass this.
Yeah, considering that he doesn't even know he has a plus score on offense past
Right,
this level.
right. Yeah, I thought he was debating, thinking like, oh, maybe it's 200, maybe it's 500, which is somewhat reasonable. But man, this could be a swing then for Dinkin. In fact, if he comes up with the winning decision here. Okay, he does balance five diamonds after a long thought. Director, please. Let's make sure we hit him on this decision. I don't think we're gonna want this one rolled back, but it is starting to feel though as if like South is getting away with murder on a few of these hands, and East West are not punishing him for it. Like once again, I mean, it's not as if the takeout double was a bad bid, but it is fairly light. And again, North seems to kind of be on the perspective that I should just treat my partner like a normal person and make my normal bids, because North was happy to save four hearts over 3-0. But yeah, East West definitely have the opportunity to be a little bit more punishing to the North South aggressiveness than they have been so far.
Yeah, they've there's quite a few opportunities to collect surprisingly big numbers.
All right, four boards to go. The other table has finished play. That is quite the result on board 30. I'm excited to see what happens when we get there.
Hopefully more normal than it looks.
All right, two hearts down one by East was the result in the other room. South definitely going to open. They're playing a precision style, so South will open a diamond. North has some stuff. I mean, North has a 12 count. We'll have to see how aggressive they are.
I suspect it's going to go with diamond 2-0, 3-0, but we'll see. Like, I don't think Bramley's going to come in over, Trump there with a flattish hand, even with 9 cards in the majors.
Yeah, that's a fair point, especially when he's on lead. Oh,
Oh, wow. Super old school.
yeah, something that I guess I had alluded to previously, that Zhao plays some of these old-fashioned methods. Two clubs, five clubs with a four-card major is still in the range for this opening bid. North,
Yeah, that's a method that among American precision players is completely dead. Everyone who plays it here plays 2 clubs of 6+.
yep. But yeah, so
I mean,
North,
maybe not among, mediocre players, but at the top level, no one plays this way anymore.
right? Yeah, so North just with what looks like a pretty good club fit, ace jack third, elects to try three no trump. This is going to quickly go down, I would say at least one, but more likely 2 or even 3 tricks, depending on the defense. I mean, East is, of course, going to lead a heart of some kind.
So we still lead a high heart. West will presumably play the 8, I guess, or 10. And now East has to figure out which major to play, but it won't matter because he'll play one, or which point is he rather? He'll play one, get him with the king of clubs, play the other, and beat it 3.
Yeah, and looking at this dummy, I mean, it feels pretty natural to continue hearts. I wasn't convinced that leading a high heart was so clear, but obviously you're going to look very silly if
Oh,
Queen Doubleton comes down and South has the Ace of Clubs.
yeah, I think it would be strange to lead anything other than a high heart.
You don't have any sympathy for a low heart? Like if North has 4 hearts.
Yeah, I mean it could be right, but if North had 4 hearts, wouldn't he have been 2 diamonds a lot of the time?
Ooh, yes, good point. Very good inference from Precision Style, especially when South can be opening 2 clubs with these hand types. Absolutely. Um, yeah, so if North can't have 4 hearts, then there's no real reason to not cash a high heart at trick 1. I guess if hearts are 5-3-3-2 around the table, you still want to lead a low one, but
Yeah, but then partner could just have. I mean, if they're 5-3-3-2 with queen third and south, you want to lead a low one. With queen third and north, you're still okay because someone has to get the lead at some point.
right. Yeah, for sure. PJF says needs to play a low heart now. I mean, basically everything works. I wouldn't switch to the king of clubs, but that probably still is good enough to beat the contract. Seems like
Yeah,
Declare only has 8 tricks.
he maybe knowing that the king of clubs is a likely entry, he might just set up the hearts rather than try to put partner in to squeeze every last trick out of the defense. Like that queen jack of diamonds looks scary because North has to have long diamonds here. Um, for this one, it doesn't have to, but he rates 2, so you don't want to play a diamond and effectively give Declare an extra entry.
Right. Yep.
Like he might just shift to a spade here. That's obviously not going to work great.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind going ace of hearts heart. We know that Declare basically needs to attack clubs if he wants any hope of getting to 9 tricks, and we do have the club king.
Yeah, although it turns out he doesn't, right? I mean, the diamond 10 could come down if he can play on diamonds.
He takes 4 diamonds, a heart, a club, and 3 spades. Oh, you're absolutely right. Yeah, this is very, very interesting then. If
Like in
North,
practice, nothing works, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's the line that Declare takes rather than taking a club finesse into the danger hand.
sure, yeah, if North had king 10 fifth of diamonds, then this defense doesn't work. You're totally right, PJF. I
That
did.
too.
I guess I was just giving Bramley a bunch of credit for cashing 2 high hearts. Um, yeah, it does feel a little scary in that case. I get the sense that he's now just realizing that. I mean, he's probably also worried that North does have 4 hearts because of the way the carding has gone. West played the 8 on the first round and now the 10. Hopefully nope, he does not come up with the inference that North can't have 4 hearts.
So that now this hand is just over.
Is that true? So a heart
No.
back?
Yeah, now you just knock out the 10 of diamonds, right?
Oh yeah, now you just knock out the 10 of diamonds. Oh my god. This is a
Wait, is that enough tricks? You have 3 spades and a heart is 4, and 3 diamonds and a club. No, it's not enough.
hmm. but East does get squeezed in the black suits.
Who's in right? If you guess it, you still.
So really, what you're saying is West needs to switch to spades. Hold on, can we confirm this? Oh, a spade switch is not good enough? Oh, right, because if we don't knock out the heart queen, then Declare can set up clubs, of course. Of course. Okay, that's why I thought a heart back was kind of
Right,
necessary.
right. And if
But
you lead a heart,
but wait, hold on. There's another wrinkle to this problem. On a heart return, Declare needs to unblock the diamond
no,
queen from dummy.
no. You can just lead the king of diamonds, nine of diamonds, since
Yeah,
since he's gonna have to do it anyway.
yeah, but like he might not do that, right? Like,
Really, that would be fairly stupid, but
oh, Greco returns a diamond, which is gonna make Declare's life very easy. Now just a club hook, and that's 9
yeah, well,
tricks.
from their point of view, like he knows that something horrible has happened, but he can't be totally sure what horrible thing has happened.
Right?
Wow, so a huge swing for Wolfson here.
Yeah, that's gonna put him right back in the match. This is gonna
And I
be
think this is
10.
on Bramley. If you're going to play a diamond, the time to do it is not a trick three; it's a trick two.
Yeah, agree. Agree. Oof. I would have liked to see Declare try and work out what to do on a heart return. Because I think a very sensible line would be to win the heart, pitch a club from dummy, play a diamond to the queen, play a spade to the queen, and then go diamond diamond. Greco would have gotten in with the 10, and then a spade switch would cut communication for the squeeze.
So, Rob, I would suggest that you not look at the auction in the other room, which is a Dinkin special, but I would strongly recommend everyone kibitzing that they take a look.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna shield my eyes, and we're gonna wait. I have multiple screens where this is appearing. Okay, there we go. So this is the auction in the other room to whatever that contract was. 2 diamonds doubled. Hopefully I got it on screen. I mean, if it was a really long auction, I might have needed to scroll. West opens a heart. 10 count, 5-4 in the majors. Flannery question mark.
This has already gone differently. Yeah, so they did open a heart at the other table.
And it's already gone differently.
Yes, because it was past one heart.
Oh. I see, I see. Oh god. Okay, well, heart by West, game forcing 2 clubs by East. I mean, it looks like East West are on their way to 4 spades. How does that contract do?
At least, right? I mean, I don't think Bramley's gonna go past it, but he's gonna make some kind of slam try, I'm sure.
He might not have an opportunity. Greco might just bid 4 spades here, thinking that his hand is
Well,
so
no,
bad.
I think this kind of was it, though. 3 spades, hoping partner could bid a non-serious 3 no trump.
Okay, yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now he's probably done.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. Bramley's hand is it's like needing the king of clubs from partner off of having good chances at a slam.
Yeah, and obviously partner could have the ace of hearts and the queen jack, but you still need him to have a pretty perfect hand, given that he's limited to 15 or so. Limited to 15 and didn't make any forward going noise.
Yeah, it's a good question. Would West cooperate with the king of clubs? I would wonder if West had singleton king of clubs, if they would want to cooperate. King doubleton, probably. King third, of course.
Yeah.
But stiff king is a bit of a question mark for me. Like, it's probably a good card, but having it in shortness is not great.
Yeah, you probably still need to do something to set up the suit, and it might make the play pretty complicated.
Yeah.
And here it's just uh,
Okay, well,
you
we're in four
keep
spades. I
it.
mean, I suspect this contract is going to make, but we're not exactly there yet. Definitely, if Declare takes a club hook, they're going to be in good shape. If they play heart to the nine, they're probably in good shape because then they can just like knock out the ace king of hearts, ruff a heart, end up losing two hearts and a spade.
Yeah, and I think he's probably just gonna win the ace and lead a heart, and then reevaluate after whatever happens.
Sure, yeah. So you think heart to the nine as opposed to heart to the queen or so? It
I
feels.
mean, possibly heart to the ace, right? Like he did open it, and South is sitting there with the ace. Like maybe it's right. If you had ace fourth, I think ducking would be attractive. Ace third is kind of scary.
Sure. Yeah, okay. Fair point.
But he might duck it anyway. But I don't think it's 100% that you're gonna have the option of sticking in the nine.
Right. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Good good assessment. South doesn't always just play low in tempo here.
And like ace four three deuce, he would play low in tempo for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's probably true. And you're absolutely right. He does fly the ace of hearts. So this will make Declare's life a lot easier.
Ace third is scary because the partner had, king queen empty fifth or something. The suit is just gonna set up easily.
Yeah, if Declare had that, you're so right. He's hoping the diamond honor situation is reversed here.
Right.
That North can get a diamond trick, or at least like threaten to get a diamond trick, and that's going to put some pressure on Declare to do the right thing next.
Yeah, and that would certainly be consistent with the trick one play, so very reasonable. You know.
I think. So, what diamond did North lead? I need to. North led the two of diamonds. Okay,
Yeah.
so there was probably no way to convince Declare that diamonds were not 5-2.
I think it could be 4-3, right?
Yeah, they could be 4-3. But I'm kind of just thinking that Declare might try and just cross rough the hand from here, and to do that, he might be interested in cashing the Diamond King if it's holding.
Right. Yeah, and diamonds were the unbid suit, so I think like you can't really infer anything about diamond lane from that lead.
Yeah. Ooh, Declare might actually go down here. I didn't give this as much thought as I should have. Declare might go King of Spades, Spade to the Ace. Oh, he'll still make it. Wait,
Yeah, it's
will he
still.
still? Hold on.
I mean, if he takes a roughing finesse at that point, he certainly will.
Yeah, yeah. Once he finds out that the spades are not splitting, he has to take the roughing hook and hearts. Okay, good point. I was thinking it sounds as if when he roughs the four of hearts, he's just playing for this plan of, okay, the ace of hearts is gone. If I can rough both of my heart losers and then play ace king of spades, I'll make whenever trumps are 3-2.
Right, is it possible that it goes king of spades, king of diamonds to make sure the opponents can't pitch a long diamond on third round of hearts?
Yeah, it's possible. I think Declare gets into the same position because then he'll play the ace of spades next, find out about the bad split, realize that he just needs to bring the heart suit home for no losers.
Well, he won't trump left at that point anyway, because Jack is going to rough that king of diamonds.
Yeah. Okay, hard to imagine him going down. I mean, I don't expect him to take the maximum from here. Like, what is necessary to take all the rest of the tricks? Spade to the seven.
Yeah, I think spade finesse, queen of maybe a club finesse then.
Yeah. Okay. We're probably not doing
Because you
that.
need to pitch diamond.
Right, yeah, you need to pitch the diamond so that you can just high cross rough the remainder of the hand. That's seems unlikely. Even at match points, I might not find that line of play.
You
So
may find that line. You
380.
may find yourself under the committee.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. If that happened, then yes, they should throw me in front of the C&E committee. 380 is going to be 9 imps. Thank you, chat. Very helpful. All right, he goes with King of Spades. Spade to the ace. And now that North has showed out, we just have to go back to doing our best to bring the hearts home for no losers. God, please don't go into the tank again. It's like every 2 tricks, the play grinds to a halt.
So what happens if he plays the Queen of Hearts now? Is there anything the defense can do?
Um,
Like, the declarer
no.
now can't get back to his hand without tapping himself out, right?
But the point is he doesn't need to get back to hand. He goes Queen of Hearts, let's say North ducks, right? Queen holds, heart ruffed. If South ruffs, then declarer is in control. If South doesn't ruff, then declarer can just play the King of Diamonds. And if that gets ruffed, once again he's in control. If that doesn't get ruffed, then declarer can go Ace of Clubs club and he'll score a trump trick kind of en passant. Alright, the Queen of Hearts gets covered, so this will make declarer's life, I think, a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Wait. Hold on. Okay, let me slow all of this down. Does this beat the contract? No way, right? So King of Diamonds, South pitches. Ace of Clubs, club. No, declares down, right?
Oh, because he loses 2 spades and a club from there.
Yeah, the fact that North covered the King of Hearts meant that declarer didn't get to cash a heart trick, which was important. Those hearts are set up, but no hand re-entry. Yeah, you're right. I mean, his only hope at this point was that diamonds were actually splitting. He should have gone, I don't know if should have is the right word, but he could have gone Ace of Clubs club ruff, diamond to the king, and then tried to play another club. But wow. So this is going to be a huge disaster. 13 imps going the way of, who is this, Wolfson?
Yeah, because Finn went for 800.
Right. They are having so much fun in the other room. It is really a shame that we won't get to see them play in the second half. I can't say that with a straight face.
Who's that full team?
No idea, but apparently it is Greco and Bramley, and then
Like, I wonder if they're 5-handed or 6, like if Finn is playing throughout.
I think it's 5. I think someone, was it BZL the other day, who told me the rosters? I forget. I think someone had mentioned the rosters.
Oh my god. So I'm looking at the Chicago ACBL site, and they've got like restaurant guide and Hall of Fame induction ceremony, and just not the fucking bulletins. Just what a fucking joke.
Ah.
That was so bad.
Yeah, I found a link to the actual match, or the actual matches, and it said, like, click on team name to show the the who's playing on the team, I clicked on it and it was just like, we're sorry, we can't process your request.
Please check the daily bulletin for the exact location of each session, but they don't have a link to the bulletin anywhere on the page.
Nice.
I think it might be. I think it might be on the ACBL landing page, but God, these people are just such clowns.
Mm.
Yeah, it is on the ACBL main landing page, but not on the Chicago page. It's awesome.
Hmm. Yeah, I didn't
So,
spend a lot of time thinking about the play in four spades. I mean, I think what Greco did was very reasonable, but maybe there was something he could have done as like a little bit of a safety play to guard against that exact layout. I just thought that he was going to make it. Maybe he also did when South had flown the ace of hearts in that end
yeah, so
position.
they are five-handed. It is Greg Hinsey will be coming in to replace Dinkin after the half.
Got it. Yeah. So it does seem like a pretty strong team that they have.
Yeah. And it is like, yeah, and the other side of the bracket is really quite weak. There's a Minnesota team that I think is an underdog, pretty heavy underdog against either teams in this match, and a Connecticut team that's pretty good, but also, I would not favor their chances playing against either of these two teams.
Would you like to take a look at the auction at board 29 before it disappears?
Not really. On which table?
Not really.
Oh, yeah, and I think that's like, yeah. I mean, I probably
So,
wouldn't do it vulnerable,
so,
but like if it shows 2 to 10 with 5-5 in the majors, it's what you have.
oh man, oh man. I was gonna say thoughts on ending up declaring four diamonds doubled.
3-0 made with two over tricks in the other room, which seems like a lot since you do have Ace King Ace to cash. But the defense can't really do anything here with everything blocked.
Well, I want. So let's see. How many tricks is it? If we get four hearts, six clubs, and a diamond, yeah, that feels like 11 tricks. What might happen is if we get a spade lead to South, South might switch to a low diamond, right?
I'm sure that's what happened.
And then Declare just cashes out and then plays a heart to the ace, and the king falls and then collects four hearts.
Hmm.
That might not happen here. It's possible that Declare only scores 750. Spade lead.
I think after that opening bid, he's not going to Rabbi. Like especially given that he's knows he's not going to be going down if a heart finesse loses to South.
Right.
Like he's gonna know for that opening lead and switch exactly what's going on in the majors. Like he might not know it's Ace King Doubleton, but he's definitely gonna know it's Ace King.
Jack of
But
Diamonds is a good attempt.
yeah, I think he's you know probably figured out the partner's double. Is gonna be not really based on running one of the majors.
Yeah, so I mean I imagine you have to pass partners double of three now here is North. But would you give any consideration to running?
I wouldn't. I mean, I think like you know, and first like partner could have bid himself if he wanted to play four of a major, and here, like you leave his diamond if partner does have like Ace King 10/7 of diamonds and you know, the Ace of Clubs, let's say, instead of Ace 10/7 of diamonds and the Ace King of Spades.
Yep.
Maybe like partner could have three aces and Ace King 7 the diamond, two side aces and Ace King 10/7 the diamonds fairly like I don't know. Who are you to overrule them?
True. True.
It'd be more or less the same high card count and an absolute slaughter.
Yeah, I think North South are just going to cash out. It feels to me like so Greco, probably worried about the potential for spade tricks from the opposition, is very likely, I think, to just take a heart hook. South will win. South will cash the diamond ace, get the bad news, and then cash the ace king of spades, and then concede.
I mean, this opening lead is obviously scarier for Greco because now he has to worry about losing three spade tricks.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
On a spade lead, he wouldn't have that worry.
Yep.
Like a spade lead and something shift, like he's got 100% know what's going on.
Yeah, so that is my guess that it's going to be 3 imps. But we'll see. I mean, if we get 6 clubs, 2 diamonds, and the heart ace, that's 9. Maybe Greco can infer that because South didn't win the diamond ace and switch to spades, that spades is actually kind of safe. So I was curious if he might just like cross in clubs and lead a diamond towards the queen for his
Wow. So
his
he
last
goes
trick.
draws right when North doesn't cover that queen of hearts.
Yeah, that's a little unusual. It's true that North would want to prevent under tricks, and it would be a difficult play to not cover the heart queen. But I don't think it's like that impossible, especially against a declarer who is going to play like this. This could be Greco playing too many robot games, though.
Yeah, or because they always cover.
Yep. So he comes out with an over trick, which means it's going to be 6 simps. I'm going with 6. No, 7, right? We established that 290 is 7 a while back.
We did. Is that what it is? 660 and 950. Yeah.
It's a pretty big swing going back the way of Dinkin. One board to go in the set. The match is still close, which means that I guess there's going to be a bit of a battle after the dinner break. Or lunch break for the players. I am now getting hungry. The
Afternoon tea break. It's like 3 o'clock here.
yeah, exactly. All the English players will be very happy.
Yeah. So I made dinner planned, so you will not see me for the fourth quarter, but I'll come back and do the third if you're going to be here.
Cool. Yeah. No, I do still have the story time thing to tell.
Oh, that's true. That's right. Got to make sure I get value for my 1,000 channel points.
Yep. So I will make sure to do that during the break. What did I say? I have to be back by 5 p.m. is when it starts. So that's like an hour from now. I have to get food, eat, make a hand. Was there something else? Did Diana email me yet? Yes.
Yeah,
Let's
so
see if this is readable on stream. Do, 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 do. Whoa. Oh, I actually need to read through some things. They sent me like official stuff to comply to when I'm doing commentary on BBO, which is totally fine. I was planning on switching up my commentary style when doing official stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can't be quite as ruthless as we are here.
That's totally understandable. Other than if we're kibitzing Zach Grossack, I have to imagine that there's like a caveat there specifically for him.
They sent you some like standards of decorum for commenting. Is that the idea?
Yeah, but it's apparently. Holy crap. Do, 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 do. Oh man. This is a good deal. This is a good deal. Chat, I am excited. Craig, I'm also excited. And
Okay.
I apparently you can join. I will talk to you offline. Um, so
Yeah, I am approved as a BBO non-voice commentator already.
yeah, it's anyway, I'll have to look through this offline, but this looks very exciting. That
Cool.
apparently I get to like pick and choose what I want to comment for. So that's kind of cool. This is the mighty two hearts making 12 tricks hand. Well, East West have managed to get all the way up to 4 hearts on this deal.
I mean, the auction at the other table was kind of reasonable. I mean,
Okay.
I would like South, made the system one spade bid. How do was get any higher than two hearts?
Fair. Totally fair. Um, yeah, it's a little awkward. I I get it on East Hand that you have just like this Queen Doubleton heart. Like East Hand looks awesome, but it might be just a little bit too light to do anything, kind of conditional on your overcall style. It's one of those hands where I would prefer to be able to bid something with East cards, but I
Yeah,
understand not doing
maybe.
it.
I do wonder if, like, I'm sure, like, this East doesn't really, or Bathurst Wolves probably like don't really care for one thing. Like, again, they're not going to do anything too complicated because Wolfson, probably like isn't gonna handle out being out of his comfort zone super well. But like maybe playing against, an opening bid that's like 8 to 12 or whatever it is, you should be playing strong jump over calls for exactly this reason.
Mm,
Like you don't really need to preempt opposite a hand that most of the time is 8 or 9 points, right?
right. Yep. 12 tricks seems like a lot, though.
It does seem like a lot, given that that you have this Trump problem.
Right.
I just play once.
So club rough, spade
Oh,
rough.
that was at the other table. It just went a ten of spades and South put up the king.
Okay.
Well, he did. Yeah, he did. I keep in mind, like, the 10 would have been consistent with like Queen 10 9 or something.
Oh my god, it really would have. Jeez. Okay, that makes things pretty easy for Declare, losing just one trump trick.
Right, he just played ace and another heart, but like South's king play seems pretty sensible to me. I don't
Mm.
know.
Yep, so
So
Declare takes 10 tricks at this table, still earning himself a pretty nice swing.
yeah, so it'll be, I guess, a 3 imp lead to 2 imp lead to Dinkin because he needed the over trick for 6 imps.